Should you buy or sell property during the lockdown? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my lunchtime stein of coffee and I thought we'd have a look at this article from realestate.com.au discussing, well, from Melbourne's perspective, should you buy or sell property during the lockdown? The real estate media, I'm starting to notice, seems to be, well, have two sides to it. You're often seeing pieces where they're, positivity beyond the moon. Spruiking real estate, property always goes up, agents reporting one property after another selling above reserve. It's amazing. Everything sells above reserve. Sure, all the properties that were mentioned in the articles are usually 2 or 3 times the median price. If anything, it lends more weight to the old argument that location is the most important thing when buying property. So I thought this would be interesting to have a look at. Should we buy or sell during the lockdown? Because Melbourne, well, once again, Victoria's imposed strict lockdowns across parts of the cities and suburbs. The border between New South Wales and Victoria is closed. Victorians can't really leave their own state. It's quite dramatic what's happening down there. And, well, property is an important part of our nation. It's an important part of stamp duty. It's an important part of the Victorian economy. So let's have a look at this take. Opportunities still exist for buyers and sellers pushing ahead with plans in Melbourne's languishing property market. Languishing, everyone. Which has just been slapped with another auction ban. See, this is the thing. Auctions aren't as big here in Queensland as they are in Sydney and Melbourne. I couldn't imagine competing in an auction for a property. I can understand exactly why people will do it. I really can. But for some of the stuff that they're auctioning is distinctly average. Distinctly average. And then I just remember reading these articles, these young couples proud to be in Domain for having paid above reserve to secure that property because it always goes up. You've just got to get in the property ladder. You've got to get in there. I mean, is property going to be like Australians' version of the US stock market where they'll just chuck everything they can to keep the bubble going? I mean, property prices, everyone, they've shot up. And then if you compare that to wage growth, there's something wrong here. So, a 12-month window for bargain buyers, 12-month window, has been spurred on by the pandemic-driven downturn, experts say. AMP Chief Economist Shane Oliver said the 6-week lockdown would have a pretty devastating impact on the economy and cause property prices to fall even further. Well, there you go. I mean, this is the thing. The damage that's being done to the economy to mitigate the spread of this illness is, well, the bubble that potentially could burst property. It could burst property. Just think about it. All the Airbnbs flooding on. All the student accommodation that's going to be empty. All the people that are depending on mortgage holidays, and that's the only thing that's keeping them in their property. That's the only thing stopping them from selling it. That's not even mentioning JobKeeper. What happens when that disappears? JobSeeker Plus, when that gets cut in half, what's that going to do for consumer spending? What about trading while insolvent? When directors all of a sudden have to take personal responsibility for the dodginess of their business. How many businesses are we going to see that will shut down on that day? Once that rule changes, that will just shut down. Going, guys, sorry, I kept you on as long as we could. We got the JobKeeper, but we just don't have enough. Don't have enough coming in. That's what we're going to see, everyone. So, as we saw back in March, a lot of sellers withdrew from the property market. And at the same time, buyers held back as well, Mr. Oliver said. It's a problem for both buyers and sellers who are uncertain about transacting when there's a lockdown. He said clearance rates could tumble to 30% as transaction levels reach new lows. It could also impact activity during spring, typically real estate's busiest time of year. But he said predicted price falls could open up the market for people looking for a bargain, like first home buyer millennials. So there we have. We've got more discussion of price falls. So I don't know why people are rushing while they're letting the FOMO get to them. The FOMO, I can understand why. Everyone wants a home. You want your own home. But you don't want a mortgage that's going to strangle you. I was literally talking to my daughter about this today, going, the reason why, she said, why do we buy a house that's run down? I'm going, because it's a lot less stressful for daddy. Sure, it keeps us warm, keeps us safe, and we'll just do it up bit by bit. And of course, she said, it doesn't keep us warm. And I go, just put another blanket on, stop complaining. Kids, toughens them up. It's good for the circulation. First home buyers usually face competing with baby boomer investors when trying to get into the market. But now there's less competition for those properties, he said. I mean, what's going to happen to the boomers when they want to retire? When they've accumulated a lot of their wealth in their property and they want to sell to downsize, or they want to do the grey nomad lifestyle, or they need to go to a home. And there's no migrants coming over to buy their property. What's going to happen then? We're going to see a flood of property hit the market, everyone. With government support and low interest rates, it's potentially a good time for first home buyers on several fronts. Is it now, or should you wait? Advantage Property Consulting Director Frank Valentik said buyers may have difficulty finding the right property because of extremely low stock levels. Okay, that's FOMO. That's rubbish. There'll always be more properties there. There'll always be opportunities there. If you have one property that you get your heart set on, oh, it's the only one, we have to go for it. 6 months later, there'll be something else that'll be just as good. I mean, come on, guys. It's property. Seriously. There'll be other opportunities. We were looking at property, and I remember we looked at one further south, down in Logan. And I'm quite glad we didn't go there, because we got this place for a little bit more. But it's in a much better location. It's closer to the city, to Brisbane. And, I mean, we avoided Logan. Not that there's anything wrong. Well, okay. I mean, Logan's the lowest socioeconomic area to Brisbane. And, I mean, there's a lot of advantages there. It's a growing area, but it also has a lot of issues there. Unemployment's going to hit Logan pretty hard, I imagine, like Ipswich. So, I mean, there was a home we were excited about, keen about. And then something else came up. Always does. You just have to be patient. Don't let the FOMO get to you. Don't listen to these people. So it's also going to be harder to inspect properties, and search will be a lot more time consuming. But short housing supply could help determine vendors stand out on the market. With extra government support, prices should stay relatively stable for those selling at the moment, he said. So it's a perfect time to buy and a perfect time to sell. What a coincidence. What a coincidence. But without auctions, there may be less runaway results and only a few offers on the table during private campaigns. He said those keen to sell should take action now rather than waiting until later in the year. There's the real message. There's the real message. Forget about what he said about first home buyers getting in and now's the good time. Sell now while you can. Sellers will get higher prices now than in 12 months' time. Sellers will get higher prices now than in 12 months' time, which is when JobKeeper payments will have ended and unemployment will start to increase. There you have it. So why is now a good time for first home buyers? If you're going to get better prices, the reverse of this, you'll get better prices in 12 months' time. Rent's going down, we've seen that. Why not wait? What's 12 months if you've been waiting for years? Nothing. Nothing really, just be patient. In downturn markets, you should always try to sell first at a higher price, then buy second when prices are lower. Yeah, but then you've got to pay stamp duty, you've got to move, it's a pain. I wouldn't be doing it unless you were going to anyway. Jealous Craig, Etham director Aaron Yates said sales had almost halved between the first 6 months of 2018 and this year in Melbourne's northeast. Some frustrated buyers were pushing ahead and seeking off-market deals to make up for the lost stock. Yeah, I doubt that's happening that often. I think it will be a bit slow for about 6 to 8 weeks, and from there it will come back fairly thick with listings, he said. Why? Vendor Gary and Jane Byrne are sticking to plans to sell their property at 19 Dyer Street. I mean, there you go, looks nice. Yep, little bricky. Mr. Burns said they had experienced a roller coaster of emotions while trying to sell during the pandemic, but were surprised at how much interest their renovated property had in the first week on the market. We're looking at buying again, but there's just nothing out there. We've decided we'll wait until we sell first. Wouldn't you normally do that anyway? Are people buying before they sell? What the hell is going on? Can someone explain that to me? I don't understand. You know, I don't understand. I just don't get property, guys. I don't get it. Let's go commit to a mortgage, have 2 properties, and one we may not sell. I've just heard those horror stories too often. But we're pretty confident with the quality of our house, which might be why we're seeing a lot of interest. Good, sell it, keep the cash, rent. You know, they've done it up. Good on them. Looks great. So there you have it, guys. Now is the time to buy and to sell. I think we read between the lines there. Patience for those buying and trying to sell. Take advantage of the FOMO that's out there. What do you think, everyone? What is your take on it? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. Simply interacting with the channel. It's a great way to let the algorithms know you enjoy the content. You can support the channel financially via joining us on YouTube or Patreon, using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin, buying our merch from HeiseSays, using Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or supporting us via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next time.